Guys, it is currently 2:50 a.m. and I honestly hate my brain for being awake and more productive at this time of night. It's kind of sad. But I finished another 75 question test about an hour and a half ago, and I've just been going over my flashcards from all of the tests that I've taken. I've been saving flashcards for every question that I've gotten wrong that I genuinely didn't know, and not the dumb ones where I should have read the question more. This is information that I feel like I need to brush up on because I've forgotten it or didn't even learn it at all, because there's some things in here that I'm like, I have no idea what that is. And honestly, maybe that's exactly what the NCLEX does, because I've heard it from several people. The NCLEX will sometimes throw in questions that they almost know that you're gonna get wrong, but some of the questions aren't catered to you knowing a disease process, but just making sure you don't kill a patient. And it's one of those priority setting questions where you're just considering like airway, breathing, circulation, neurostatus, things like that, rather than actually knowing exactly what the disease process is doing to the body. It's more so that like, is there airway compromise? Like that is always going to be a priority no matter what disease process it's going to be, you know what I mean? However, now that I'm going through all of my flashcards from the questions that I have gotten wrong, I am noticing a trend. Apparently, I suck at everything that has to do with the thyroid. Literally, I am messing up on every hyperthyroidism and hypothyroidism question. Like Cushing's and Addison's and thyrotoxicosis, I am like missing these pretty consistently, which is really sad. But I also feel like the reason for that is that I only recall ever learning about thyroid diseases probably in MedSurg 1, which was over a year ago, and we never really emphasized it again. Most of what we emphasized for like MedSurg 2, 3, and critical care were a lot of like neuro and cardiac stuff. So I remember those a lot more than I remember the thyroid stuff, because we literally only talked about it maybe once my entire nursing career, and it's like leaving my brain. But clearly, UWorld really likes the thyroid questions because there's so many of them and I keep messing them up. So I think that'll be another topic for me to really emphasize studying on, because it's making me a little bit nervous to see how many questions I'm getting wrong as far as thyroid stuff goes. So there's that.
So a few things. One, I have work today. Two, I'm stressing about the NCLEX. And three, I'm out of oat milk. But in actual news, I am, how do I put it? Like what's the way I introduce this topic? So basically, I've been using UWorld for the last 2.5 weeks to study for the NCLEX, right? Last night, I got into this weird, like, self-doubt attack right before I was going to bed, so I ended up not sleeping until 1 in the morning. Woke up today at 5, so there's that. But I've just been getting a little bit more anxious, as I should be. You know, it's the NCLEX. I paid a hefty amount for this test. I'm about to get licensed, need to get a job. There's a lot of things riding on this test, right? I hadn't been stressing about it at all pretty much this whole time up until last night. And I don't know what changed, because nothing has changed, really. I think it's just that now that my test is 3 days away, I was second guessing myself, so much so that I had to look up online what the test average was on UWorld, because I am still hitting about like the 58% rank so far on my tests. But when I look at the percentage as far as like what people are saying, and as far as UWorld itself recommends, they're saying that if you're hitting around the 56% mark on the QBank test, which is what I've been using, that you have about a 92% pass rate. But it's still a little bit discouraging every time I go on UWorld, finish a test, and see how many I get wrong. And I keep asking myself if maybe I'm just that stupid and maybe I shouldn't be a nurse. I need to stop second guessing myself and just take this damn test before I literally explode from the inside out. I went so far as to look up alternative dates next week, but I also know I don't have next week because I am fully busy next week and don't have the time to take this stupid test, because I had already intended that this week was going to be the week that I finished this stupid test and that I'd be done with it. So I don't think I can really go back on that anymore. So I just got off my shift. I'm heading home right now. I have to go to Office Depot. That's what I need to do. I need to get boxes because I am shipping out several of my pieces this week. So the boxes are kind of a priority. Ow, this freaking wheel is freaking hot. Oh, it's hot in California. Oh my gosh, and we've fallen. What's new? I honestly don't even, whatever. I don't know, it's just, I had another experience that I kind of wanted to talk about. I get these ever so often, and when I do, it literally leaves this like weird imprint on my soul that really makes me remember exactly why I want to do peds nursing. Basically, like, I was taking care of this little kid, not little, he's, you know, older, 12, but he has autism and he had a seizure recently for the first time in his life, and I was just talking to mom at bedside, and her family was so sweet, and you can tell that they're really caring as far as like for his needs and all that stuff, because she was just so involved, and I could just feel this like weird connection to her, because the way that she was caring for her son is the way that I would love to care for my own, because the support that I see in parents definitely makes a difference when it comes to like the care of the kids in the nursing setting. Because like, as much as you're caring for a patient, family honestly is gonna be your patient as well, and that is something that I've definitely learned throughout my nursing experience, and I think it's something that you should always keep in mind from here on out, you know? It's T-minus 24 hours until my NCLEX. I don't even know how to freaking start this video. Today is now Wednesday, August 19. My NCLEX is scheduled for August 20 at 6:30 p.m. It is currently 8 p.m. So actually, technically speaking, in 24 hours, I'll either be screaming in joy or crying. I guess we'll find out then. I was using my UWorld program last night when I was studying, and I finally took the actual practice test that they have, because the way that UWorld is set up is that you have different tiers as far as like what your payment plan goes through. I picked the 2-month plan, and that includes the, I think, 2,000 question Q bank, which is where you can make your own tests, plus an actual simulated NCLEX practice round, but I only got one try to use that specific test feature. So I actually took that test feature yesterday because I felt like it'd be appropriate to take it a day before the last day that I could study for the NCLEX, because at least if I find out where my weak spots are on the actual practice exam, then I know what more sort of focus on today. So I've just kind of been like reviewing more stuff. I'm gonna go over more of my labs, write down some notes this time around to like really read through the things that I want to focus on, and I'm gonna take one last test tonight, and then tomorrow it'll just be a quick brush up over things. I don't plan on actually taking any more practice tests tomorrow, because I just don't want to psych myself out and give myself test burnout by having read too many questions. So tomorrow is just going to be going over flashcards, going over the notes that I have written, and my labs once again. But tonight's going to be the last time that I take a practice test that I create from the Q bank. So far, I've really enjoyed UWorld. According to the practice test that I took last night, I have a very high chance of passing. I've been scoring above the average of what the people on the tests are doing. The types of questions and the way that it makes my brain think, I've been told, is really the way that the NCLEX is formed. So I'm kind of mentally prepared for like how the questions are gonna look, which I'm really happy about. Yeah, I'm feeling okay so far. I'm feeling a lot better than I did a few days ago when I was trying to reschedule my test, but definitely still gonna put in a little bit more time today to focus on those topics that I'm still a little bit weak at, and try another test and see how it goes. So I'll catch you guys in a little bit.
Go mind it right, feel like I'm Ichiro. I shed light, they need to grow. Come on, they friends, they call your friends.
It's currently 4:40 something. I am now driving to my NCLEX test. It's about an hour and a half away, and my test starts at 6:30. I don't know, guys. I've been reviewing really well. I feel like I've got most of the concepts that I really need down in my head already. The topics that I really wanted to cover today was adult health, which is obviously like 90% of the test. Not really, but feels like it. A lot of maternal, because that's one of my weaker spots, because I sucked at maternal even when we were taking the class. And pharmacology, of course, because pharm is also a huge portion of this test, and just knowing at least the more common things to know, and sometimes even the more uncommon ones. So I'd be lying if I'd say I'm not nervous at all, because I guarantee you I kind of my pants internally. I've done the best that I could with what I had, and if it still wasn't enough, then I know to try harder next time. But we're gonna cross our fingers and hope that there isn't one. Who knows, maybe the next time you guys see me, I might either be crying or screaming in joy. Alright guys, I'm probably blurry. I just got out of my NCLEX about an hour ago. You guys are just gonna have to bear with it because I can't really focus this right now, especially since the lighting in my car is horrible. I got out of my test an hour ago. I've spent the last hour just exploring food places out here to try to treat myself, because in all honesty, I have no clue how I did. So I don't even know if I should be stressing and like prepping to take the exam in a month and a half or not. Like, I don't know what I should be doing right now, aside from eating and trying to get my mind off of it. First of all, I capped out at 60 questions. My test stopped at the 60 question mark. Their testing center policies are like really intense. There's a lot of pre-test things that you have to do ahead of time. So, hold on guys. I'm gonna put my straw in here so I can like actually drink this, because you know, why else did I buy a matcha latte? You know what I mean? There's also somebody chilling next to me, so I'm kind of awkward. As I was saying, wow! I stopped at this matcha shop out here, Bomb Matcha. My test capped out at the 60 question mark. It just stopped, which is the minimum for the test. I got there 20 minutes before my test, and it still took me 35 minutes to actually start my test. So I didn't start, like my test was supposed to be at 6:30. I didn't start until like 6:45. So I guess for future reference for you guys, try to show up at least 30 minutes early, if not more. Honestly, like I took the test, and they say that if you're getting harder questions, that means you're getting questions right, and so they're like testing you. But I felt like it was just hard in general. Like I was getting questions that the topics were things that I had studied, but the question itself is asking about like really small detailed things that we don't really go over or talk about very often. So I was making a lot of educated guesses. There's so many things that I was just might, may, maybe, kinda, like there's a lot of that happening in the test. But it capped out at 60 questions, and I don't know if maybe because I was getting so many hard questions and getting them right, that it just told the test to stop, or if I was getting so many wrong that it was like, that's it, like we can't even give her any more questions because she's just that stupid. So I may or may not let you guys know how I did on the test, but yeah, I guess we'll just find out when the results come back. But as far as how I feel right now, I'm done with my NCLEX, I guess. This is such a weird way to end this vlog. I don't really know what I'm supposed to be saying. It's awkward. Yeah, so I don't know how I'm supposed to end this vlog because I feel very conflicted. Like I'm borderline between worried but also like maybe. I just don't know how I feel at all. So I'm just gonna leave it at that, and I guess I'll see you guys in the next one. Gosh, hope you guys have a good week anyways. I don't know what I'm thinking or what I'm feeling right now, but have a good week regardless. And for those of you also studying for the NCLEX or starting school soon, good luck to you guys too.